My name is Peter Berninger. I'm here to announce the products of the year for 2013. Now, before I announce product number one, there's a backstory. First off, I'm a little bit of a flat earther. I believe in engineering. I believe in quality construction. I believe that audio manufacturing is part art and part science, but mostly science. Leads me to room treatment devices. Now, I started 30 years ago. I outfitted my whole listening room with multiple RPG diffusers. These are the wooden diffusers that kind of look cool. You see them in many sound studios. And they had an effect in the room. When I took them out, there was a little bit of I missed them a little bit. It wasn't profound. My next listening room, it was outfitted with just art on the walls, beautiful carpet, tall ceilings. It was a 20 by 35 foot room. I didn't use any room treatment. I got great results. My current listening studio, you've seen lots of videos of it. It's got a lot of art. It's got leather furniture in the room. It's got the system speakers in an equilateral triangle. It's got the equipment in between the speakers on the floor so that the soundstage can open up. I don't use racks for the equipment in this setup. I've never really thought about room treatment in this room. I get great sound. So this leads me to a phone call I received from Ted at Synergistic Research. He was very interested in me hearing his new high frequency transducers. These are room treatment devices. I had not seen them. And I thought, well, sounds a little bit like the Synergistic Research acoustic art treatment. So it's those little bells that you see at the audio shows and in some people's listening rooms, which is a similar product to the Frank Chang acoustic resonators, another bell-like product. There's also another product that's becoming popular in 2013, and that's the Walker Crystals. Similar type product. You put these products around your room up on the wall. They're small. There's also Mapingo by Shanmuk. They have a room acoustic treatment device kit that you can put around your room. So back to Ted Denny. Ted sends his representative to the listening studio to install the HFTs. Well, they're this big. Here. It's on the speaker. That's how big it is. There's no way that's going to make a difference in my room. It's impossible. You know, I have lights over the art to illuminate it at night. No, they're that long, they move around, they get jostled. I have candelabras. I have a cuckoo clock. How could this little thing possibly make a difference? So I watched as they were installed. You do it in a series of 4 installations. Each kit contains 5 HFTs, 5 each. And there's a method to the madness of how you put them in the room and where you locate them. And you'll see that in a video in 2014, how to install them. So the representative went through the installation, and we took a break, and I played a download. Now, The track I had played prior to the installation, and it was a little flat sounding. It was two-dimensional. It consisted of a drum kit and a guitar. We played the track at this exact same volume with 25 of the HFTs installed strategically throughout the listening studio. And the moment the track started, it was startling. The walls of the room seemed to frankly disappear. What was a two-dimensional recording became 3D. I mean, how could this possibly happen? So we played more music. We turned the music off. There were 3 of us in the listening room at the time. We were speechless. What the HFTs did was as profound as changing loudspeakers. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe it. I mean, I'm not a tweak. I don't subscribe to tweak products. I'm not really a believer in super $50,000 power cords. That's just not, I want to see the engineering first. But I was a believer, and I was an instant believer. So we turned the music off, and I could hear my voice in the room. I'm used to the voice in the room. My voice now seemed to be closer to me, but yet the reverberation time in the room seemed to be bigger. It was like when you walk into a concert hall. It's kind of that kind of effect on my voice. Now they're cost effective. The HFTs are less than $300 for a kit of 5. You're going to need 25 of them to do it right. So it's a $1,500 expense. In high performance audio, you can spend $1,500 on one power cord. So here it is. It was right on the side of the Sono speaker. Product of the year number 1, Synergistic Research, HFTs. The second product of the year was introduced to me at the Capitol Audio Fest. It's a line stage that was in a system that utterly disappeared in the room. It is indeed the SMC VRE 1C from Steve McCormick, and it's a game changer. Now hopefully you've seen the review of it. Everything in that review is exactly what I said it is. It is the most revealing preamplifier I've ever heard in my system in my entire listening career. It's solid state. It takes what solid state does well, which is an ultra low noise floor, and then adds a holographic layering to the sound presentation. It's not a melding of tubes and solid state. It's something different. It takes the image and it puts it in your room in its own placement, just like reality. It's the most realistic image generator I've ever heard. Steve McCormick has been working on the unit for just under 5 years. It's now in full production. I urge you, look at the video series on the unit. Well earned product of the year for the SMC VRE 1C line stage from Steve McCormick. And that's distributed by Lotus Group. Perhaps the best for last. No matter how good our systems are, we have to have proper source components. A source component is a component that feeds a system a signal. Source, a CD player, your record player, an FM tuner. There's nothing comparable today in source components to reel tape. If you go to the audio shows, you've seen gorgeous tape decks spinning, and you've heard sound that puts you more there. Well, the Phase 11 deck from United Home Audio is a third product of the year. It will transform your listening experience in numerous ways. First off, it's totally cool to look at. You have to get involved with it. You have to touch it. You have to put the reel on the deck. You have to thread the tape to the other reel. You have to rewind it because you always store your tapes. It's called tails out. So they only play in one direction. So you store them after they've been played, and then you rewind them while you're about to play the tape. So you have to wait. And it's worth every moment of wait. Because when you hit play, and you hear a master tape copy for the first time in your system, you will be a believer. It takes the intimacy and believability of vinyl to a much higher level. It's continuous. The term continuous means flow. The music flows from one point in time to another point in time, and you don't notice the difference in time because it's continuous. The tape deck is more continuous than the LP. The tape also doesn't have any groove noise. The tape is being pulled across the heads. Tape runs at 15 inches per second. So you don't have the noise that you do in the mass pre-recorded tapes of the 1970s and 1980s. It's not inexpensive. The tape deck itself sells for just shy of $20,000. And the tapes, and the master tape copies in particular, average around $500 each. But it's worth every penny. For it's the most realistic source component I've heard in my system. The downside is there's not 20, 30,000 tapes available. Perhaps that's a good thing because of the cost of the tapes. But there's several hundred master tape copies that you can acquire today. And for the special listening events, and for when you really just want to lose yourself in the music, there is no better source component. So the third product of the year, the United Home Audio Phase 11 deck. It was a great year in audio. We had a lot of runners up, great amplifiers from Ypsilon, from AudioNet, loudspeakers from YG. But I had to pick three, and I had to pick three game changers. So there you go. Synergistic Research, HFTs, Steve McCormick, SMC, VRE1C, and the Phase 11 deck from United Home Audio. Congratulations, they all earned it. Peter Berninger reporting for AV Showrooms.